Okay, so today we continue on with our back series. Okay, so we're gonna do a chicken wing choke as well as look at the body lock and foot on the hip. Okay, so I have the back. Back is hooks, seatbelt, and ear to ear. Very important, our ear to ear. And then the seatbelt we talked about, well, instead of the seatbelt, we grab the choke arm is on top. The other arm is, the armpit arm is grabbing the opposite side collar. Now, whenever I take the back, I don't want to go like this, okay? And I'm going to assume my teammate is probably going to be falling to the right side. Hold on a sec. To the right side, because this is his escape route. If he goes towards the left, he's laying on my choke arm. If he beats my head over here, there's really nothing I can do. I pull, I can't hit a submission. Okay, go back. Okay, so I'm going to preempt that by bringing the middle of my chest to that same side shoulder while looking at him. And when I fall, my left leg in this instance, because that's the top, going to be the top leg, my left leg is going to step on his hip. So here like this. Now you see where Michael is. I'm looking at his ear, and he's more into my, in my hip area. Now, if I could body lock, which is I triangle my leg and put it behind him, I will. But if you can't body lock because of size of yourself or your teammate, another good idea of closing a circle, we talked about closing the circle around the stomach and the neck, is putting your top foot and stepping on his thigh here, or his hip, not his thigh, because he could straighten his leg and I could lose that. Okay, so step on the hip. Now I'm stepping on his hip, because if you step on his hip, it's very hard for him to put his back on the mat. In addition, if you really step on the hip and you do it properly, what happens when they start to try to really force is you end up falling in the other direction. So I'm here with my grips, I'm stepping. As he puts weight on me, look what happens naturally, okay? Now, we're gonna continue on from the last video. We're gonna go option number 2, which is what do we do when the person falls on the choke arm side? I'm gonna bring my bottom leg behind me, my top leg goes across his stomach, I come up on my knee, and now we're gonna go for our chicken wing choke from here first. We set the choke up from here, okay, because he's probably gonna be trying to grab my hands, you know, defend. So I grab the, I hold on to the bottom, my choke arm holds on, and I put my top arm behind his head. Now I'm trying to reach the mat, okay? Now I could finish here, I could sit up and finish, but just to add another dynamic, so you can do this is one. Add another dynamic, you're gonna sit back and catch the arm here. Now don't sit back and let him turn all the way like this, because if you need a transition for an arm bar, it's kind of hard. He can stack you really easily. So when you fall back, just keep him in this zone here. So let's do that one more time. So I'm stomping, he puts his weight, we end up over here. Look, I'm already transitioning to option 2. I put my hand behind his head to set up the chicken wing choke. As I sit back, I'm gonna catch the arm and keep him facing you. Now I just try and touch the camera with his hand behind his head as I pull the collar around his throat. And there's my tap. If that doesn't work for some reason, I always have my arm bar, and it's easier to hit it here because it's harder for him to stack. Now I can pinch my knees and hit the arm bar. Okay, so we talked about how to close a circle, foot on the hip. When we fall, just make sure to bring your chest, your middle of your chest on that shoulder, look at the person, and put your foot on the hip. Because if you don't, what's gonna happen, it's gonna look like this. Just face the camera. If I try and do this in steps and all at once, it's gonna look like this. Now see where his head is? If he just takes 1 inch on the other side of my head, he's out. Then we have to learn about pulling the head up and all that kind of stuff. You know, and so I'm here, and then if I try and put my foot on the hip, sure, it's good, but it doesn't have that same effort, or same effect, I should say. So when I look at him and I'm falling, as I'm falling, that's when I put the foot on him. Now you see where his head is in relation to mine? Now if he tries to put his head over, he's got a long distance to go, and then we start going into our option 2 technique, okay? Thank you.